What's up, guys? I know it's tax season. Everybody hates tax season, but it is good to have things in place. And here's exactly what the Academy will teach you. And also kind of like my process. I'm going to show you guys real time, like what I'm doing. So I think that's the most helpful. It's most practical. It just shows you exactly step by step of what I do. So first things first, in week 4 or month 4, we talk about this. So month 4 conclusion, I specifically say add calendar invites for you to stay up to date on your insurance, wills, trust, taxes, and credit, as needed, right? So all of these different things up here are what I would add to my calendar. So the very first thing I'm going to do when I'm getting all my information, all my documents, all my tax forms for my CPA is I'm going to have a actual calendar invite, like literally, let's see if you can see this. You can see the list. So you see all those green checks on there. That is me that I've gotten all these different forms over here. You'll see on the far right. So every single year on the 31st of January is what I do. I put get tax documents. That's my notification. Super simple, right? And in the notes, I have all of my various different accounts, things I need, things that have come up over years, and I don't want to have to remember this every single year. That's such a waste of time. Just put it into a document or into a reminder like this on your phone and just have all of the list of all your accounts right there. That's all it is. And again, we talk about this stuff. So these are real things I do, and everything I do is on here, guys. So month 4 specifically, in month 4 conclusion, it will say add calendar invites, and that's exactly what I do, okay? So I do that for all of these things. I don't skip on any of these things. Same with every other month 2 and 3 conclusion and month 1 conclusion, add calendar invites. This is intentional. This is exactly what I do. So this is the reason why it's efficient for me when it's, tax time, as annoying as it is. It took me maybe 10 minutes to pull all this stuff. First things first is that. Now, if you're just starting, you've never done this before, you're like, I don't even know where to start. Obviously, start through the program. We got that. Go through your balance sheet. So the easiest way to track and think of where everything's at is to go through your balance sheet. So you pull your balance sheet up, you see a bank account. Okay, that bank account definitely earns interest. I need to go find my 1099 INT form, which is, right here. For example, here's my high yield savings right here, Ally Bank to the far right. And then, oh, wait, I have a personal bank account. Okay, well, PNC Bank. I need that one too. And so I know within my balance sheet, I'm linked directly to the websites, right? We've already hyperlinked that. This is all things that you've done or should be doing for good reason, right? And when you go into your documents, now it's going to look all different, but I'm going to show you 2 examples right here. So this is literally my Vanguard account. So if anybody uses Vanguard, here it is, tax forms and information. Click that button and boom, all of them. I'm not going to show there's numbers down there as far as account numbers, but all I got to do is like this one, search the year, pretty obvious, right? It's going to list all of them here, and then I'm going to hit view and download, and then just download over here. And please, your CPA will love you for this. Please title it correctly. Don't just put uploads. As an auditor, a former auditor, or a CPA, I will not like you if you don't title these things. So for example, we have 1099R, consolidated form 1099. If you don't know what they're called, they're listed right here. So you don't have to recreate the wheel here. Just copy and paste when you save it as this, please. And your CPA will love you. So tax forms are on Vanguard here. That's one of my things I got to collect, right? Another thing is my Ally savings account, right? We have the high yield savings account for my property tax we save here in the buckets. There it is, 1099 INT. Literally at the very top, it said tax forms right here. And I just click tax forms. Every website's going to look slightly different, but they're all at the very top usually. Pretty clear cut. And sometimes they even have notifications during tax time, like something pops up on the screen, hey, here's your tax forms, because they know how many people are needing these things. That is it. So as far as I have all the documents, I know which ones I'm going to have, obviously, and then I save them all over here. Now, I personally work with my own CPA, Burke & Schindler, and I have my business documents and I have my personal documents. So all of these that I'm looking at right now for you are these over here. So I have saved all these, consolidated forms, joint brokerage accounts, IRAs, 1099s, my property tax document. You have all sorts of different documents I have specifically. But again, go to your balance sheet. Hey, you have a house? Well, you probably pay property tax. You probably want to get that document, right? You have investment accounts. You probably want to go in there and get the 1099s. As you can see, 1099R, consolidated 1099R, 1099 INT for your banks and stuff, like the interest. And that's a big piece of this. Now, here's another pivotal piece of this process. And so what I personally do, not right or wrong, but I give my CPA additional tax consideration notes because 1, some forms aren't available. 2, there's things that he might not think about, right? And I want to make sure everything in my situation is remembered by that CPA. That's probably just another number to him, right? So let's just be honest. As much as Jake likes me and as much as Jake talks to me, he's just probably giving this to staff and they're just going through it. So they might miss some things if they don't know your whole situation. So I think it's better safe than sorry to provide more information than less information. I know as a former auditor and also as a CPA, if I'm a CPA, I will default to, or an auditor, I will default to what I assume to be correct a lot of times, right or wrong. It's just what it is. When you're filing things at volume, that's what happens. So I know the pitfalls of auditors and CPAs, and that's one of them. They'll assume, they will not include unless included, if that makes sense. I'll explain in a second with these numbers. So let's start 1 through 8 here. So number 1, hey, you have direct access to my QuickBooks. Obviously, he's helping me with my business. He's also helping me with my personal, right? It's an S Corp. It flows through. I just want to remind him, hey, you have direct access. That's all. Okay. He's been added as a CPA within my QuickBooks. So he has direct access to my P&L, my balance sheet, all that stuff on the business side. All mileage for the business is included within QuickBooks. Just a reminder, he probably will see this, but again, I just want to make sure, check that box. For our home office deduction, I don't know if he knows necessarily my square feet, but I'm going to provide it to him. And I also, this is just kind of experience, right? But we can use the simplified methods. There's 2 different methods, and you're doing $5 per square feet as a write-off. So I would rather use the simplified method, but unless you find it more beneficial to use the alternative method, then I would use that one. I'm guiding him through the process, and this is where the education piece comes into play. The more education you have on this process, the less intimidating it becomes, because you're kind of coaching them through this process. Don't expect to be an expert. Don't expect to know all this stuff right this second. It takes time. But eventually, save this every single year. So like my reminder on my phone, this reminder you guys are seeing right here, is literally an annual reminder. So I delete it when I'm done this year, but I only do, what's it say? Delete event on whatever, like this and this event only. So next year it pops up with exactly my documents. This additional tax consideration notes, I will literally save it onto my computer in a folder that says 2023 taxes. So I'll have all of these documents over here saved. They're obviously going to be in my portal too, if I want to just access it that way, but I'm also going to do a second check. I'm going to keep them on in my personal folder over here, 2023 taxes, etc. Okay. So super simple. Now, number 3 or 4, whatever, I can't count. HSA 5498. So if you have an HSA, you have this form. This is not available until May. But they need to know, you're not going to upload that form, but you need to know that, or they need to know for tax purposes, that you max this out in 2023 or whatever contribution you put in there, because that is a tax adjustment that you need to be aware of on a personal level. Multifamily syndication. We don't have anything available until April, right? So we have 2 multifamily investments that we made in 2023, specifically Houston and Dallas, and we don't have any documentation until I think it's April, maybe even May. But he needs to know that before tax time so that he's well prepared. He can provide that, add that to the picture if needed. Private equity investment, not available until April. So we've invested in a private company which will issue a K1. Our total capital invested was total of $20,000, $10,000 in 2022, the remaining in 2023. Just want to let them know that. 3 CDs within my business bank account. The tax forms are not available at the moment. I might even put like, hey, what else? Maybe the details of each one as well. And then lastly, am I missing anything? Don't be afraid to ask those questions, because you might be missing something. Even myself, things slip my mind. I don't add it to my reminders and stuff like that. And things just happen, right? So it's not a big deal. Once I have this, I'm going to save this. So I'm literally just going to save additional tax consideration notes. File save as to my desktop for now, and I'll file it away. And then I will literally go into my portal. So now I have all my stuff right here, very organized, very together. And then I just do one bulk upload, and I might send him an email saying, hey, uploaded this stuff. I'm sure he'll get an email automatically when I do. And that's about it, guys. But this makes this process so much more seamless. And I can't stress how important these little tiny things are with time, because you get busy. You're running around with the kids today. You don't want to go home and think about your taxes. And like your mind's going to block this stuff out because it's not fun. But if you do this and you have the consistent process, I have my reminder on my phone. I know my balance sheet popped up with all my links to my various different accounts. I just click on that. Boom. There's my 1099s. There's my investment accounts. And then I know where my portal is. I'm already saved because I have it right here. So I just literally click this, efficiency. Everything I do is I try to be as efficient as possible, and I don't waste a bunch of time doing it. Recording this video, which is at this point almost 10 minutes, is about the time it took me to get all this stuff together, because I've done it for so many years. The first year might be a little messy. That's okay. You'll build upon it. But let's keep this super simple. And then we'll have everything as well when we start to do our tax planning for 2024. And it's January 31st. Maybe you do tax planning in June of this year, making sure you have everything up to date and you're thinking ahead of the schedule and all that kind of stuff. So now, not tax preparation. This is preparation. So remember, when we look at the let's call it week 14, we have tax preparation. That's what this is right now, right? CPA just filing my taxes. This is not the planning episodes that we've had all year. So we've met with my CPA multiple times, I think 2 or 3 times at the stage, plus a few emails back and forth throughout all of 2023 to plan effectively for this. So there is zero surprise. I know exactly what I already owe. We've already done the estimate. So we already kind of know what that is, but we need the official thing, and that is tax planning. So making sure before year end happens, we know exactly what's coming, what's expected. There's no whoa, and you feel a lot more confident throughout the years, guys. So anyways, I hope this helps, guys. I don't know if it will. Take this for what it's worth. Apply it to your situation. Again, we teach all this stuff within the academy, but I figured real time, this is a great video to record so I can show you step by step of literally what I just did. So drop questions in the chat if you guys have anything. Thanks, guys.